Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. This is going to be a wee rant video about a situation I came about in a British Heart Foundation kind of superstore. Superstore, yeah, it's like a big warehouse type thing that they've got. But before we get into that, it's going to be a short video anyway. But before we get into that, I think we need to start removing the word charity from charity shops. The majority of the charity shops out there are resale centres. They're not charity shops. They're there, they get free items dropped off at the door, and they're there to resell them. Some resell them for the prices charity shops used to be, but the majority of them now try and sell them for the highest penny they can get. So I think we should stop calling them charity shops and start calling them resale centres, because that's what they are. And then I had one. Now, I mentioned this in Nick Andrea's latest live, and I was in a charity shop. The manager was talking to one of their volunteers, and she was saying how somebody dropped off a mulberry bag. Instead of putting it in the shop, they put it onto Facebook, sold it for £150 for the charity, and she was kind of jumping up in joy, glad that they got the money. Now, I mentioned it in their video, who's the scummy reseller. Now, I'm not saying any of the resellers are scummy. I'm just going by what some people leave comments on others' videos for. I know they've left it on like Ricky's and Bold Finds and Gentleman Marketeer and a whole load of other people that do reselling. They've had these comments before, that the kind of scummy resellers. So, who's the scummy seller in this instance? Is it the charity shop? Because they could easily have stuck that bag out for £30-40. Somebody would have got a really good deal, and the charity shop would have got money. Chances are something like that would make the person come back again. If it was me, I'd be coming back once a week to check to see what other things they've got. But when they keep these things out of the shop, then they lose that. And it's not like that woman's going to get a pat on the back or well done or a wee bonus for selling the bag. No, I mean, the chances are that money will just go towards their sales target. And if you are a target driven store, a sales driven store, then you're not a charity anymore, you're a business. And I think that's the problem with it now, is that majority of these charity shops are resale centres, they're not charities. I mean, I was in one the other day and they had a couch, just a three-seater couch, fabric grey couch for £450. Who's spending £450 on a couch at a charity shop? £450? Come on. Anyway, let's get to what happened. So this was in a British Heart Foundation store. The night before, I had spent literally like 4 hours going through all my media. I'd catalogued it all because it was something I hadn't done. I've been buying duplicates of TV sets constantly. So I catalogued it all, and I also checked on eBay, done some research on a dozen or more other TV shows that do quite well as box sets and ones to look out for. And I knew this charity shop had a huge selection of DVDs. So I went in and had a look, looking around, and there was a box set of, I think it was Lost, and it was the box set 1 to 5. Now the seasons goes 1 to 6, so it needed one more season. I thought, well, if I can get it cheap enough, then I can pick up season 6. But there was no price on it. So I went to the counter and asked the woman how much the box set was. Now, straight off the bat, without beating an eyelid, she went, oh, that's a £50 box set. And my nervous reaction was, I laughed and went, no, I don't think so, you're kidding, right? And she was like, no, look, and she kind of got flustered and pulled her phone out of her pocket, went on eBay, started scrolling, and went, look, see, it's £10, £10, £10, £10. I was like, okay, stop you right there. I said, that's the listed That's not the sold for. I said, I've already had a look. I said, there's one at £9 odd that sold. The rest are all £6 and £5. I said, there's at least there's like 15 of them, all under £6.50, say. And she's like, no. And I was like, honestly, so I got out my phone and I started showing her. And she's like, well, I can sell it to you just now for a tenner. And I was like, but that's not what it's worth. I said, that's not what you'll get. And she was like, well, that's what the eBay staff would do. That's what we do for eBay. So it'd be a tenner. And I was like, I don't know if it was my own fault, but I was like, who runs your eBay? Does somebody like me need to come in and train yous, or what's going on there? I said, you know what? I don't want to buy it. Leave it there. And I said, I'll wait until you put it onto eBay. I said, you'll stick it on eBay for £10. I'll buy that for £10. Guess what? I said, you'll need to pay about £3.50 in postage and packaging. I said, you'll need to pay maybe £1.50 to £2 for eBay fees. I said, so you're only going to make £4.50, £5 out of it. I said, and if I wanted to be spiteful, when I received it, I could then raise a case saying not as described. Then you'd need to pay for another postage to get it back. That's another £3.50. So now you're only going to make like £1.50 off it. I was like, absolutely unbelievable, idiotic. And I just turned around and walked out the shop. And when I was walking out the shop, I raised my voice, going, absolute fucking idiots, honest to God. So I'm not going to go back to that store for a couple of months until I can. But it's like, where do these? They're saying there's no point trying to argue with an idiot because you'll never win. Do you know what I mean? Where do these shops think that this is going? Do you know what I mean? Trying to charge the same and trying to charge me standing at the counter with cash ready to buy £10, but they'll sell it for £10 on eBay and they don't see what the issue is. Fucking idiots, honest to God. So that was the British Heart Foundation. Yeah, they need. These charities need to understand how eBay works. They need to understand. Yeah, they just need to understand how eBay works. So let me know, was I wrong? Was I right? Have you been in that same situation? Something similar? Let me know down below, guys. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.